Let's talk about this bad boy right here.
Okay.
Fourth record, Hope and Ruin. It sounds awesome, you guys. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're happy. It's great to be on a fourth studio album. We're really happy with the way that record came about, and we're really satisfied with the results. And
I heard that you went into this without a real game plan.
yeah.
Was that a liberating thing or a scary thing?
Very liberating. We were just tired of treating music like a business or a job, and we've always been pretty good not to do it that way, but it was starting to creep in a little bit, like the pressure, and okay, we got to keep this going, and we try to get bigger and all this, and all that awful ambitious ego stuff that ruins music. But
don't you have to do that to a certain extent? It is your job.
Well, you do to a certain degree, and we certainly did that over the years, where we were like definitely under the gun to make records and make hit songs, depending on how you look at that. But with this album, we just wanted to go make an album that we wanted to listen to, and just, you know, damn the torpedoes and just go out and have fun. And it was just, it was one of those situations where we were working round the clock, but we weren't working hard, we were just working often. I mean, we were living at the studio, waking up, you know, having a cup of coffee, grabbing the guitars, sitting around the living room for 4 or 5 hours. By the end of that, we'd have a song together, break for dinner, go and record till dawn.
I think to your point, Brian, I think the real challenge lies in like pushing artistic boundaries and not necessarily commercial boundaries. You know, I think that the job of a band, at least the way we see it, is to like break new ground, like in your songwriting as a craft or in your playing as a group. You know, and sure, commercial boundaries would be great to smash them all down, but like I think that's your primary objective. Then you're putting the cart ahead of the horse. You know, like really. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to music and how people feel about it, you know, how the feeling they get off of it.
How do you deal with the pressure of, I mean, is there a bit of a voice in the back of your head that's speaking to the artist and saying, "This better be good, guys"?
Yeah.
There's always that. We'd be lying if there wasn't. But it's, we especially didn't want that to be what dictated this album. We didn't want to write this from any kind of pressure or fear or anything. We just wanted to write it right from the heart and from the soul, and right from just, I like the sound of this riff and I like the sound of these words, and it just feels good. And if it feels good, do it.
Well, let me ask you about the Trews Incorporated. I don't know if that's your company name or what, but you know, as a band, you have to have some kind of means to filter the money and all this stuff. How does that work? You guys are business partners, I guess. There's 4 partners.
Yeah.
So you've got these 2 relationships happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Your business partners and your bandmates.
Yeah.
How are the dynamics different?
Oh, they're very, making a business out of music is a weird thing. I mean, we've managed to do it thus far, but I think it's pretty good. We're all family and friends, and we're trying our best not to screw each other over. We just try to make the music #1, and I feel that if you make something that's real good, then everything else kind of falls in place. At least that's been the situation with us. Like
Pretty socialist about it.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of split everything up equally, and you know, there's no one guy with, you know, living in a trailer, another guy living in a mansion, and like that. So we kind of, you know, I guess
we're an egalitarian society.
Yeah.
Speaking of mansions, in 2011, how does a band make money? Where does it come from?
Touring. It's never boring. Yeah, that's the way we've always made ends meet. It's always been about the road. I mean, it's nice to have some radio play, and you get, you know, money from writing songs, which is awesome. But we've always been able to make our living by touring in this country. And we've this last year kind of stretched out. We're starting to get things rolling down in Australia. Probably going to be making our way over to Europe. And that's always been the way we've forged ahead.
There's always the thought from the fan of the band, when I buy this record, I'm giving the money to the band to support them.
Yeah.
Is it true?
Technically true.
Yeah.
It doesn't always make it to us.
Well,
it stops along the way, repaying all the people that were involved getting the record done, and then I think, have we ever seen a royalty statement? I mean, we've sold, you know, hundreds of thousands of records, but I don't know where that money is. You let me know if you find it.
Yeah. It's a funny thing, though. I mean, the average fan probably assumes that you guys are getting 95% of that money, but that's not the way it works.
Business 101. I mean, I'm in no position to give like a lot of advice, but it's, you know, if people lend you money to do something, you got to pay them back before you take a profit. And that's just the way this business has been built since day one. So.
I always find it funny how many people I know, myself included, who grew up in the same house and had no idea how much money their parents made the whole time. Because this is like private thing, and it is a private thing, how much kind of money people make. I'm not gonna ask you how much money you guys make, but is it like, can you make good money as a band these days? Is it still a job you recommend to people?
I think, of course, if your priority is to make good music and try to contribute some good songs to the world, then by all means, if it's to get rich, like, go do anything else.
There's a lot of other jobs ahead of the race in the rich race.
Go work for Apple. And I've learned that over the years, and the ups and the downs, and the hopes and the dreams, and the reality checks, and the thousands of miles logged down the road. And you just got to keep that in check. And remember you're up there with your buddies, and you're doing a wonderful thing. It's music. It helps people. And you got to keep that in check all the time, because the moment you walk in like it's in the bag, you are gonna fuck things up quicker than, at least in my experience. You gotta I just find you gotta just walk in with a real healthy sense of self before doing anything in this business.
And I learned how to trim my beard.
And you did a phenomenal job.
That was comic relief, folks.
Thank you so much, you guys. Much appreciated.
Right.
Always fun.
So you're leaving now. Have you done enough?